Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, May 19th. I hope you had a decent long weekend. The weather was pretty good. We're going to send out the answer key and another diffusion and osmosis assignment today. See if I can share my screen with you. So here it is. So this was our question. Predict what will happen if a cell has a membrane that is impermeable to solute A. So that's pretty important. We'll jot that down there. When in doubt, draw it out. Solute A is impermeable. Impermeable, not allowed to pass through. That's important. There's a high concentration of solute A building up inside of the cell compared to its environment. So let's not make the same mistake I did the last time. I forgot to minimize the picture. It was hard to see, so I apologize for that. So there's a high concentration of solute. Oops, what's going on? Okay, so there's a high concentration of solute A building up inside the cell. That is the part that you want to make sure you draw. Okay, high concentration of solute A, and here's our cell. Solute A is building up inside the cell. I think I'm going to do a Spider-Man web shape around solute A today. I've been watching a lot of Netflix, I got to be honest, catching up on the different Spider-Man. I'm not sure who your favorite Spider-Man is. My daughter Jenna, she likes the new guy. I kind of like Tobey Maguire from the Spider-Man series a few years ago. And yeah, we will draw a few over here. So this is the cell. So there's a high concentration of A in the cell. In the environment. Congratulations, by the way, to everybody that is handing in sketches and little pictures of cells as well. That's really the way to do it. That's really the way to do it. Low concentration of whatever this solute A is, the outside of the cell in the environment. So we need to make our prediction then. What will happen? Well, at first glance, solute A is going to try to cause equilibrium by passing through the cell membrane, but in the description, for whatever reason, maybe the pores in the cell membrane are too small, maybe the molecule here, solute A, is too big. I don't know, just not getting through. So in that case, the only way to balance out the equilibrium is for water to start moving into the cell. Now, there were questions on your reading assignment a couple of questions ago, a couple of assignments ago, that talked a little bit about trigger pressure, talked a little bit about what might happen to certain cells. There was another question about red blood cells and what would eventually happen here. Well, it's true that it is possible for so much water to come flooding in that cells could start to burst. There could end up being too much trigger pressure, or what we call osmotic pressure, and these cells could burst. But there are mechanisms to prevent that from happening. And as you know, cells have vacuoles. So the vacuoles will actually help to collect that extra water and jettison the water out and kind of compensate for osmosis. So here's what's going to happen. Remember the things that we need. So water will pass through What direction? From the environment inside the cell. I like the way some of you are describing these things in terms of the concentration. You could also say from low concentration of A to high concentration of A. You could also say high concentration of water to low concentration of water. That's a story for another day. Some of you are looking at it from the perspective of the concentration of water. And I can tell that you've done a little extra reading. This is probably more of a high school way of looking at it. This is relative to what's going on here at junior high. Okay. And that process is called osmosis. And the reason that's happening that way, why does that happen? It happens because the concentrations are different. Concentrations want to equalize, okay, or equilibrium wants to take place. Okay, so those are the 4 things you needed for an answer. Today's a little bit tricky. So today's question has a couple of different things for you to write out. Only going to give you 1 day to do it because now you are becoming experts. So I'm pretty sure that you won't have too much trouble. Once again, please try to get these done on time because once the answer key is out there, you know what, I got to stay on track and I'm probably not going to mark these anymore. Okay, so tell all your friends, tell a whole bunch. You just had a hippopotamus for lunch.